Well, hello everyone. It's good to see you again. Good to be back again. And today, Grandma went to see KINGSMAN: The Golden Circle, which is the sequel to the KINGSMAN movie a few years ago, which, you know, we sort of liked. It was pretty good. This time, it finds our hero is in a British sort of Secret Service agency, and he is fortunately faced with a lot of the agents getting killed, and
his friends and colleagues.
Mm-hmm. And he is sort of put in the position of picking up the pieces and
save the world.
And saving the world from the bad lady, played by Julianne Moore, who
she was really bad.
She was really bad. She was actually one of the highlights of this film. She played a very sort of quirky character.
She convinced you.
Yes, she's not very nice, but strange and a little humorous. But she's basically a huge drug dealer, and she basically has a plan to infect the world, and you know, she has to provide the antidote and basically blackmailing the world and that sort of thing. And he has to fight against her and stop it and all that sort of stuff. And he goes through all sorts of adventures all over the world. And what do you think, Grandma?
I enjoyed the film. It was an example of what the special effects people can do. I mean, we started with this fight scene inside of a taxi. All right, imagine that, a fight scene inside of a taxi. And they were very imaginative, and I thought, okay, now this is Grandma talking, okay? I haven't heard the F word used so many times in any of the films that we have seen. You know, I got a little tired of that, but it was their way of expressing themselves. Everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody. Other than that, that's my only objection. There are other ways to express yourself, you know. It was very interesting. They went, as you said, he went from one adventure to another fight, to another way of using his fancy weapons that the KINGSMAN organization, you know, had given him access to. So that was interesting too. I enjoyed the film. What'd you think?
I did not enjoy it at all.
No. Oh.
I think we both enjoyed the first film. It was sort of a different take on the secret agent business, sort of the anti-James Bond, you might say. They, again, you know, in James Bond film, you have all the little gadgets and stuff, and again in the KINGSMAN film, they just overdid the gadgets. They had all sorts of gadgets, and again, they did it in this film too. They just had gadgets galore everywhere.
Those special glasses they had that they put on, and they allowed them to see.
I did not find the gadgets very interesting after a while. I thought that actually they overdid the gadgets.
Too much of a good thing.
They were not very interesting. My biggest complaint, though, was basically with the heroes. The heroes were, I don't think, very sympathetic at all. You didn't really pull for them. They had no sort of real. I'm not even sure how much of a moral compass they had as far as being heroes goes. They were not very. They were not very nice. They didn't. Again, I didn't like the heroes at all. I wasn't, you know, I can't say I was pulling against them, but it was hard to pull for them. I just didn't like that. I didn't like the whole the whole idea of infecting the drug users in the world,
right,
and then basically tossing them aside, which is a part of the blackmailing thing, which I mentioned earlier. I found that sort of almost offensive. There was no
value on the human life.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was no. They had no thought of trying again to cure them or get them off of drugs or whatever. It was basically, well, just get rid of them and
That's all the
let
problem.
them all die.
Yeah.
Just a very distasteful
Very
sort of
creepy idea. Yes.
Yeah, and I hope that they can straighten this out for the next movie, because I mean, they set it up for another movie after this, because again, I think it's an interesting concept, and it has it had some interesting characters, although again they made them very dislikable in this film, and it was a big waste. I thought it was a waste of time, a waste of money, and a waste of a good sort of setup and concept that they built in the first film. So I would not recommend it at all. So I'm glad you liked it.
Well, I enjoyed it, so I guess that means I liked it. It was one crazy scene after another. You just have to sit down and sit back and accept the fact that is. But I agree with you on the fact that our heroes were less heroic than we would have liked. So I can't really recommend it. And my big objection about the F word, I know you're just supposed to accept that as the way people talk, but not the people in my world.
It wasn't really necessary.
I know. Every other word. Did they ever say a sentence when they didn't have an F word in it?
I don't know. And I thought it was a big waste of Halle Berry. It was a waste of Jeff Bridges. Yeah. Channing Tatum, he's on ice for most of the film. He's literally on ice for almost the whole film. They waste
had Elton
him.
John in there.
Well, they didn't waste Elton John. They had
the real Elton John in this movie. How they got him in the movie?
They had him in some interesting scenes.
And he was a good guy.
He was, yes.
He was a good guy.
I would recommend it. What would you say, Grandma? What's your verdict?
You said you wouldn't recommend it.
I would not recommend it. No.
Okay. I think it would be okay to go. I'm not exactly recommending it, but...
Well, it sounded like you were recommending it earlier.
Well, I did enjoy it. So, yes, I guess I do recommend it. But it's a no-thumb movie.
A no-thumb movie?
No, it's just a movie, It's
okay.
Just okay, go. But expect what we've been telling you.
Okay.
And have a big box of popcorn.
Enjoy the popcorn. Then.
Enjoy the popcorn.
Boop.